Ahoy, this is Zdenka. This is what we are going to be doing today with this iPhone. Let's go through camera settings in Blackmagic camera app, shots and angles, fake drone shots, indoor lighting for studio shots, color grading and editing. Lots to learn today. This video is sponsored by Hiboy as they supplied their e-scooter for filming. However, I'm not being paid for producing this video. Our task is to create a commercial for this brand new e-scooter Hiboy S2 Max with an iPhone. Let's get this done while teaching you everything. Native camera app. The default camera app on iPhone doesn't allow you to film in manual mode. That is why you have to use a third-party app such as Blackmagic camera app that is completely free. Let's jump into this app and show you camera settings I used throughout the whole shoot. In record settings, codec has been set to HEVC H.265. Resolution was 4K. Color space was set to Apple Lock to be able to retain as much information in highlights and shadows as possible, and remove the over-sharpened smartphone look. Under LUT settings, display LUT has been enabled, and LUT selection was set to Apple Lock to Rec 709, as that allows you to see the preview with the LUT rather than looking the whole time at a flat-looking image. It's only for a preview though. The files were saved as Apple Lock HDR files. Let's go to camera interface. Frame rates has been set to 60 frames per second to be able to slow down the footage in a post if needed. Shutter speed has been locked to 1/120th. ISO has been set to the lowest possible. In this case, filming with main lens, it is 55. White balance has been set to 5600 Kelvin and tint to 10. Stabilization for filming outdoors has been set to cinematic. For filming indoors, the stabilization was off as I was using a tripod. For filming outdoors, I was using Freewell variable ND filter and Hohem iSteady M6 gimbal. All tools I used to film are listed below the video in a video description. Let's cover riding shots first. All shots were taken before sunset, roughly around 7 to 8 p.m. The first shot is a classic riding shot. I'm going to show it even though it was not included in the final edit. Gimbal was set to pan follow mode. What is very important here is the framing and composition and maintaining the same speed with your object. If I'm going to display the grid, notice that he's on the left side looking into a frame. He's not in a center. This allows us to sense the location as well. The next shot is a classic location reveal. The gimbal is in lock mode. What you do here is framing the final view first. Then you go down to the ground and slowly reveal the location. You have to also keep an eye on your talent, so when he enters the frame, your camera is roughly in the center of the body, giving a balanced look. The whole time I had Tom riding into the sun as I needed to have his face nicely lit up. Riding away shot has been filmed against the sun as you can see beautiful shadows. Unfortunately, the sun was already very low, so you can see this not so nice flare in the shot. If the sun was a bit higher or even lower, you wouldn't see that. This is a combination shot. The gimbal was set to lock mode. The shot starts very low. Once the subject passes, you want to keep moving to the left to create this dynamic movement. Let's move to another location and create a very similar combination shot. The gimbal was set to pan follow mode. This time you start on the left. As you lift the gimbal, you also want to keep moving to the right. Once your subject passes you, the key here is to keep him on the side of the frame, not in a center. Then you start to move forward to keep following. Fake drone shot is next. For that, you need to use a monopod. The easiest way to get this shot is to frame it first and set lock mode on the gimbal. The choice here was to film with the main camera, as you don't want to end up with your subject looking distorted. That would happen with ultra-wide angle lens. The ultra-wide angle lens would give you a higher look though. All you have to do is start very low to the ground and lift as high as possible. Let's talk about the bridge shot. That can be very cinematic as well. All you need here is a monopod or tripod and a phone clamp. Framing is a key here as well. As the sky looks quite plain, you want to frame the shot to show only a bit of the sky and mainly focus on the bridge and what is underneath. I took 2 shots here. One with a main camera that shows more of a location, and the other one with telephoto lens. That brings you much closer so you can see the rider on the bridge better. Let's change location again with shot number 7. Your edit will really stand out if you include several very scenic locations. I have already explained how to do this shot earlier, but I want to give a different tip here. Sometimes we see a big object, such as a ship in this instance, that catches our eye and we immediately want to shoot in that direction. It's always very good to also turn around and look at the other side. The second shot turned out much nicer because of the beautiful cloud formation and not so busy background. Detail shots are next, all filmed with the main camera. You can film them handheld. I still prefer using gimbal and its lock mode as that keeps the frame in place. Then I just do very small movements forward, back, or to the side. Close-up shots are all about the framing. Let's display the grid. Here is a balanced look as the phone is on the left and the light, being controlled by the app, is on the right. The same here, phone display with hands appears at the lower right area while you still see the scooter display on the left. This low angle shot also has a balanced frame. Tom is on the right, scooter is on the left. Attention is brought to the red light turning on and off. Lastly, hands on the handlebar are nicely filling up the whole frame. Okay, let's move to the studio to show you the lighting setup, but first, let me introduce you the e-scooter. This whole time you're looking at Hiboy S2 Max new foldable e-scooter. It's got a 500 watt max power motor and 19 miles per hour top speed, that is 30.6 kilometers an hour. There are 3 riding modes and it can ride up to 40.4 miles, which is 65 kilometers. That's a lot. Once you power on the display, you can turn on the light by pressing the power button 1 time. If you press 2 times, it will take you to speed mode selection. S, that is sports mode. Maximum speed here is 19 miles per hour. Eco or energy saving mode. That one gives you a maximum speed of 11 miles per hour. And D or drive mode, and that one gives you maximum 16 miles per hour. If you press the power button 3 times, you can turn on and off cruise control. There is also a battery indicator and temperature. When that lights up, you need to pull over to the side of the road to cool down the scooter. There are 2 things I like that I haven't really seen before. This air tire pressure monitor is the first one. When it is green, you're good to go. When it is red, you need to pump it up. The second thing I really like is the Hiboy app that actually surprised me quite a bit, to be honest. Once you connect the e-scooter, you can see mileage, remaining power, and riding time. You can turn on the light and lock the scooter so nobody just rides away with it. You can enable cruise control, go to settings where you can adjust cruise control speed, change your speed mode, adjust maximum speed limit, enable zero start, change kilometers to miles, modify scooter name, and more. And now let's go to studio. How do you get these product shots? They are very simple to do. My black background is just black roll of paper. You can also use a fabric. Those shots need to be shot in the evening, or you need to cover your windows to block daytime light. The darker it is, the better. The settings in the Blackmagic camera were exactly the same as for filming outdoors, except here no filter is needed and stabilization was turned off as the phone is static on a tripod. Well, I used monopod. I was using an RGB LED light with a grid over it. The grid will direct the light, it will not spill. You want to have controlled light that only lights up certain parts of the scooter. All you have to do is just play around, move the light in all kinds of directions, and see what you can come up with. The final product shot is a little bit more complicated and you need additional lights for that. Let me explain the setup. On the left is a softbox pointing onto the scooter, making sure no light is hitting the black background. One small LED light is sitting on the left side of the table, lighting up the lower part of the scooter. Another small LED light is on the right. At first, I was trying to lit up the top part of the scooter with another small LED light, but the light wasn't strong enough. I wanted more reflection, so I grabbed the SmallRig RC60 light with a power bank because it wasn't charged before. I simply didn't think I would need it. All was left to do is just move the light above the scooter to create movement in this static shot. Filming part is behind us, video editing is next. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. This commercial is a story. At first, the scooter is introduced only with those quick studio shots, not showing the whole product to keep it as a mystery. Then, a very simple action happens. Tom disables the parking mode in the app. You see the red light turning off. Then he turns on the headlight, changes scooter riding mode, from slow to fast, of course, and gets ready to ride. Then we see all the riding shots. You just have to play with the music, cut it on the beats, keep the clips nice and short to keep it alive. The bridge part is a bit more complicated. Instead of just showing a one long shot, I decided to mix it with the bridge shots from far away. This way, the viewer is a bit surprised to see all those shots from different angles. At the end, he simply rides away, and the final shot is the big studio product shot. The next step would be color grading the clips and add suitable transitions. As these clips are in log profile, you need to first use conversion LUT, app log to Rec 709 to correct the footage, and then you further color grade the footage. I'm going to list the name of the song below the video in a video description. It is from Epidemic Sound Music Service. They offer 1 month free through that link. I used the beginning of the song and then the ending of the song and mixed it together. Let's play the final commercial one more time. Give it a thumbs up if you found this tutorial helpful in any way, subscribe for more, and don't forget to check out one of these next. See you there. Ciao. Ahoj.